I'd love to talk about like your family. So, how does your family impact your business? How does your business impact your family? Like, does it motivate the hell out of you? You know, you got two daughters. Like, talk to me a little bit about how that relationship works.
Yeah, it's funny because my daughters are they're 10 and 13. They're about to turn 11 and 14. I'm not trying to age them, but they turn 11 and 14 in October. And I feel like just in the last year or two, they're starting to get a grasp on like what it is I do, because I feel like when you're an entrepreneur and you work from home a lot, like your kids tend to, I don't know, what's the word I'm looking for? Downplay what you do. Like sometimes I don't think that they know I have a job, because I'm literally in my office talking to you on Zoom and they're in the other room playing. And it tends to be and difficult to kind of like to transfer knowledge to them about what we do. But I had a really, really good conversation. I took them both. I tend to at least once a week try to have dates with them. And so I had a daddy-daughter lunch date yesterday. And we were talking about money. And I really want them to understand the concept of money, right? Because let's face it. I mean, I don't want to get into a political debate, but like our public school system does not teach anything about the concept at all of money. And it's crazy to me, Aaron. Like it's just batshit. And so that being said, I think our kids tend to, and you'll learn this because you got really young kids, but as they get older, I think when we try to teach them things, they go the opposite direction because they're like, if my parents want me to do this, I don't want to do it. Right. So I've been trying to teach them about money slowly their whole lives. And finally, I think I had a breakthrough yesterday and I was like, look, it's not that I want you to want to do what I do, right? Like, cause I think they see the stress sometimes in my eyes. And I think they see they see the long nights, they see me working. Right. And I think they're like, man, I don't know if I want to handle all that dad handles, but I said to them, like, it's not about doing what I do. You don't have to be the CEO of legacy developers. You don't have to build self-storage. You don't have to be a construction guru, but I want you to understand the concept of money. Like, you could be a veterinarian, you could be a kindergarten teacher, you could be a school bus driver, you could be anything. And you should still learn how to control assets. You should still learn how to control wealth. You should still learn how to use the savings and the investments that we're building for you as vehicles to have rental properties, to have a certain amount of cash flow, to have investments, to understand how to, be an LP in future deals like Joe and Aaron do, right? Because if you have that basis, let's face it, you don't have to be an operator. You can have a 9 to 5. This is one of my biggest pet peeves, man. I don't get on this rabbit hole, but let's face it, a lot of gurus are like, quit your 9 to 5 and go be an entrepreneur. I'm the first person to tell people like being what we do for a living is not cut out forever. It's not designed for everybody. We deal with a lot of stress and a lot of anxiety that most people don't want to do. If you want to go get a 9 to 5 and cut out nights and weekends, man, that sounds good a lot of times. Let's face it. There are times when I want to turn it off at 5 p.m. and go veg out on the couch. We don't have that ability. As business owners, you cannot turn it off. Your phone does not, you can physically put your phone down and you should, but your brain doesn't stop. And so whatever those kids want to do, I want them to just have financial independence and I want them to understand cash because I love my parents and my dad did pretty well, but no one ever taught me about money. I learned about money on my own when I started flipping real estate. That's the reality of it. And I think our kids deserve better. And I'll stop rambling after. But that's for them.
No, that's great. And I love to hear that the daddy-daughter dates. I think that's kind of an awesome tradition, something I'm going to start working on as my daughters get older. I still take my daughter to IHOP occasionally, and that seems to be a fun dinner. But so tell me a little bit about, you kind of business, with your wife, how has that been, with, you've been growing your businesses, right? Taking risk. Are there any rituals or any, habits, things like that you guys have done as a couple that has been like instrumental to the success of your relationship or, what challenges have you guys had to overcome or what has made it work? Because it's, like you said, being an entrepreneur is not for everybody and it's not for every relationship. And so when I looked at guys like you who, have a, long marriage and kids, it's like, oh man, what's the secret?
I could probably give you 5 or 10 like quick secrets, like, that I think that all entrepreneurs should do. Number one is my wife was retired when my 10-year-old was born, right? Never hold that over her head. Like, I think there's a lot of entrepreneurs that treat, stay-at-home mom like somehow like they're not earning money. Don't ever do that. I think that's a huge no-no. I look at it like my wife is the CEO of the house and I'm the CEO of the business and we're equals. I could not do what I do without her 100%. Because there are so many things that happen in and around this house that I have no idea. And I don't downplay any of them. Like I haven't opened mail in 15 years. And that to me is the greatest freedom on earth. Like, it sounds ridiculous. It sounds silly. I don't want to do it. Like, there's certain things that she does that sound silly, but they're massive to me. Like to me, the mindset freedom of not dealing with that stuff is so big. So I don't pay bills. I don't open mail. I don't do the CEO of the household stuff. She's amazing at that. Pay your wife. Like, my wife has a separate checking account. She has a separate payroll. She's on the payroll. She's an amazing saver. She's way different than I am. You know, us as entrepreneurs, we make money, we invest in something else. We put it there. So she literally has probably bigger savings. I don't know what, by the way, I had no idea what's in her savings and her checking. That's her money. So, you know, she makes a salary. She has her own money. That way, independently, she wants to buy me a gift or she wants to do something for the kids. She uses her money. She wants to buy a purse. She uses her money. So I think independent finances is important to a good relationship. Date night, it's absolutely imperative. You better be going on date nights twice a month with your wife. If you're making excuses as to why not, don't make excuses. Don't tell me why your relationship sucks if you're not spending quality time with your wife, independent of your kids and your house. Date night can be pizza. I don't care what your finances are. You can take food out of the fridge and go sit in a park on a blanket. That's date night.
Yeah.
Right. But you got to make time to do date night. And that's the most important thing. And fellas, if you're listening to this, you plan date night, not her. Right. You decide what you're going to do. You grab the bottle of wine. You call the restaurant, make reservations. You tell her it's going to happen on Friday night. That's what she wants. She wants you to step up and be a leader and stop being a little bitch and asking her, what do you want to do on Friday? Let's go on date night. And then you end up getting into an argument about it. Right. Because you can't decide where you want to go to dinner. That's not date night. Okay. Date night is we're going out on Friday. Get your stuff ready. We're going to leave at 5:30.
Yeah.
Right. So being specific and being ritualistic about making sure those things happen, that's on the man, in my opinion. Right. Date night's another important thing. Flowers get sent to the house. Oh man, here's my favorite secret of the world. Right. And I got to tell you, Sean Whalen. I owe Sean Whalen this. If you ever read the book, How to Make Shit Happen by Sean Whalen, it's a really good book. It's like 50 pages long. Sticky notes. Okay. This is a game changer for your marriage. Do you know what I'm about to say?
No, but it's funny. I wrote one sticky note once, I will love note, and it's actually posted on her, it's right on her bedstand. And so I know it must have been good.
If I took you upstairs right now, my kids have 100 of these on the back of their doors. My wife has them stacked up all over the place. So anytime I travel or go away for 2 days, 5 days, whatever for business, all three girls get 5, 10, 15 of these. And I take a marker and I write all kinds of notes. And then I hide them all over the rooms, all over the house, in her purse, in her car, wherever. The greatest thing about this is they don't find them right away. Right. It's like a witch hunt. You know, she'll pull these things off of her visor in her car in 3 weeks, or out of her purse, or out of a shoe, or out of jeans. This is the greatest because it's delayed gratification, right? Like, some of them get found, some get found later. And it's always tends to be the day where she's having a bad day or she's not feeling good. And then she pulls some note out that's like a sexy note or, I love you note or whatever, right? This is the absolute cheapest and easiest and best investment you can make in your relationship. Most guys won't do it because it takes 10 minutes, right? Take 10 minutes, write 10 notes, hide them around the house. I swear to God, you'll have a better relationship. You'll have more sex. You'll actually enjoy being in a relationship and you'll stop complaining about how your marriage sucks. Sticky notes. So
yeah.
It's literally the answer to everything.
I love it, man. That's great. I love that. I'm definitely going to start doing that more.
It's a game changer, bro. You'll come back to me. I have coaching clients that come back to me and they're like, dude, the sticky notes is one of the greatest things you ever taught me. I'm like, well, that's kind of embarrassing because I like to think that the doubling your revenue in your business is the greatest thing ever taught. So no, sticky notes is like, seriously, it's a game changer.